yeah. Delicious. Hi everybody, welcome back to Marie's Kitchen. I'm so glad you're here. Today we are making air fryer salmon cakes with homemade remoulade sauce. This is one of my personal favorites, so I'm really excited to share it with you. So first up, we have a little over 1 pound of salmon, and I've got that on some parchment on a baking sheet, and we're gonna pop that in the oven at 350 degrees and bake for about 20 minutes or until done. You can actually do this the day before, the morning before, the afternoon before you're ready to cook them. It's a great make-ahead option to have the salmon cooked, cooled, and flaked and ready to go. All right, this goes in the oven at 350. Now while that cooks, we'll throw together the rest of the ingredients. The great news is it's just one bowl and there's really hardly any chopping involved. First, I've got 1/4 cup panko. Next is 1/4 cup grated Parmesan cheese. Just make sure you don't use the shredded, which comes in like kind of hard sticks. That will not work, and these would be poking out everywhere. Next is 1/4 cup Hellmann's mayo. You don't have to use Hellmann's, but just make sure you're not using something sweet like Miracle Whip, because that will definitely throw off the flavor. Next is 1 tablespoon green onion, and I often do have fresh green onion, that I chop myself, but today I didn't, so I'm just using these freeze-dried chives, which are super useful in a pinch. I just keep these in my refrigerator and then pull them out when I need some. They just add some color and a little bit of nice flavor. So about 1 tablespoon chives. Next is the one thing that we are gonna chop today, and that is some fresh dill. You can use other herbs if you have some. You could use basil, tarragon's lovely. Some parsley's nice, doesn't have quite as much flavor as I like. Okay, now we'll chop this up. Anywhere from about 1 to 2 tablespoons. Next is 1 teaspoon Old Bay seasoning. And this, in addition to the Parmesan and the mayonnaise, adds all the salt you need, so you don't need to add any other salt to the mixture. Next up is 1 egg. Then we'll add the zest of about 1 lemon. Oops, that's upside down. And what I love about using lemon zest in this recipe is that it doesn't water down the salmon cakes. There's a lot of salmon cake recipes that I've seen where you add lemon juice, and that actually is gonna really water down the salmon cakes, which makes it really hard for them to stay together. Now we're adding 1 tablespoon of whole grain mustard. So 1 tablespoon of that. And that is everything. So we'll just give this a stir. I mean, that's pretty easy, right? And in case you don't have an air fryer, which is what we're focused on today, you can also cook these in your oven or on the stovetop in a skillet. And I do have instructions for both of those on my website. Under the salmon cakes recipe, you can look at oven, stovetop, or air fryer. Okay, it sounds like the salmon is ready, so I'm gonna grab this out of the oven. That looks great. We'll set it aside to let it cool. And now let's make the remoulade sauce. It's very easy, and again, I did measure out most of the things so it goes a little quicker. This is 1/4 cup of Greek yogurt, and I use a full-fat, plain Greek yogurt made by the brand Greek Gods. It's a great substitute for mayonnaise. A lot of people in a remoulade sauce will use all mayonnaise. I like to use actually more Greek yogurt than mayonnaise. We're only going to use 2 tablespoons of Hellmann's mayonnaise. Next is about 1/2 tablespoon of whole grain mustard, the same thing that we used in the salmon cakes. That adds some great flavor and color to this, along with 1 tablespoon of ketchup. And that adds just a little hint of sweetness and also some good color. So 1 tablespoon ketchup. Next is 1/2 tablespoon minced dill, or you could use tarragon again here for that. Next is about 1/2 tablespoon capers. And of course, none of these measurements have to be exactly precise. This is one that you can adjust to your own preference. And I'm just gonna mince these up a little bit. If you don't like capers, you could try something like dill pickles or bread and butter pickles. Just something nice and a little bit of crunch, a little bit of vinegar is a nice addition. All right, looks good. We'll add that to our mixture. Next, instead of the Old Bay, we're going to use Zatarain's Creole seasoning. This one, we happen to be down at the beach where we go on vacation in the summer, and they didn't have Old Bay. They only had Zatarain, so I said, I'll try it. And I actually really love the flavor. It's a little bit different than Old Bay, but really delicious. So we're going to start with a ½ teaspoon. And again, that'll add most of the salt that you need. And finally, we'll do a squeeze of lemon, which is about a teaspoon. If you like, you can add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. A little splash for a little bit of a smoky flavor that's nice. Oh, and then a little bit of black pepper. Oh my. Is this why people don't like home cooking? What a mess. Why don't we have a pause for dog? Okay, we're back. I made a new bowl of remoulade sauce because I was just too worried about somebody eating an entire black pepper, and I don't know if it would damage a tooth or what. So here we are back with our remoulade sauce. Same place we were last time, except no black pepper. We'll just give that a stir and that's it. It's ready to go. All right, we'll set this aside and get back to the salmon cakes. Now for the salmon, it's nice and cool. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take a paper towel and just press a little bit on top. Sometimes there can be a lot of water in the salmon, and I really don't want that to water down the salmon cakes. So I just press out some of the liquid just to make sure we're not getting too much liquid. Now I am going to use my hands to pull the salmon, clean hands of course, to pull the salmon off the skin. It comes off, I mean it just falls right off. I've seen recipes where they actually want you to cut it off the salmon skin before cooking it, which in my opinion is ridiculous. It's so hard to cut salmon off the skin. Not so hard, but it's a hassle, I think. I think it's way easier just to cook that salmon and then just pull it right off with your fingers. And the good news also is that you can check just to make sure you didn't miss any pin bones. If you feel anything that's a little bit hard, you can just pull that out. Then we'll take our mixture, the eggs, the panko, the Parmesan, that whole thing that we did, and we're gonna go ahead and add our salmon to that. And it's important to mix this together before you add the salmon. Otherwise, you're gonna have to be mixing so much. That's gonna break up all the pieces of your salmon. So definitely mix this first, then add your salmon. We'll just kind of toss this together. The problem with salmon cakes and crab cakes is that usually you have to have so much filler, such as breading, to hold everything together. What I do instead is use less filler so you get more delicious salmon flavor. And then what we're gonna do is freeze the salmon cakes, and that helps them hold together while they cook. I'm gonna use a big cookie scoop to scoop out the salmon cakes. I usually do it with my hands, but this makes it a little quicker. So we'll just scoop these right out, and then we can flatten them a little bit on top if we want. I have had a lot of people ask me, does this work with canned salmon? And I have not tried it out yet. I am determined to, so I can give you an answer on that. I don't see why it wouldn't. So that's my answer right now. And I'll be curious to hear if any of y'all do try it out with canned salmon. Let me know how it goes. The other great thing about freezing the salmon cakes is that these can now be made ahead. So you can make these like today and then put them in the freezer until they're frozen. Then you can put them all in a Ziploc freezer bag and take out 1 or 2 as you want for like lunch or dinner, and they'll be ready to go. You really don't need to thaw them before cooking. I would just thaw maybe 5 minutes while you preheat the air fryer, and then go ahead and cook those, and then maybe add about 2 minutes to the cook time. And those will be a real quick, you know, high protein snack, lunch, dinner, whatever. Now these go in the freezer. Now while the salmon cakes are in the oven, I'll walk you through the air fryer, just a little air fryer 101 real quick. So when you take out the drawer, you have a basket, and this is what the food cooks in. So it's suspended in the air. And then the air fryer, basically what it is a small convection oven, and that just means it circulates the air around the basket, and that's what gives the food really good browning and nice crispy texture. So even though you're not using a lot of oil, it can have a similar texture to a fried food. So that's why they call it the air fryer. For the salmon cakes, what we're gonna do is preheat the air fryer. So on this model, it's really easy. You just push the on button, and then the preheat has a little button that says preheat. So you'll just touch that button, and it's gonna cook at 400 for 5 minutes, and that will preheat the air fryer. Okay, this is just about done. So we'll turn that off, there we go. Open up the drawer, be careful because it is hot. We have our salmon cakes here that have been in the freezer for about 15 to 20 minutes. And so they're not frozen solid, but they feel good. They're holding together very well. So we'll just put those in the basket. And now I do like to drizzle a little bit of olive oil on top. So now we'll put this in and go to 400. Move that up to 400. And down to, let's start with 8 minutes since we gave it a nice preheat. Then we'll push the play button and let that cook. Okay, the timer just went off, so we'll take a peek and see if these are done. And the great thing about the air fryer is that you can open it and peek really easily and see how it's doing. Oh my gosh, they look fabulous. Can you see those? Oh, so good. To get them out, you can use either a plastic fish spatula like this, which is really handy, or if you happen to have a plastic offset spatula, this works as well. It's real narrow and can get in there and get one. Just try not to drop them. I'm trying to be extra careful after the pepper incident. So we're gonna gently, carefully set these over here. It has definitely been a Monday for me. Wow. But these are gorgeous, so things are looking up. We'll have a better afternoon, hopefully. So beautiful. Thanks so much for joining us on Marie's Kitchen. Today we made these easy and delicious air fryer salmon cakes. They're gonna be so good for dinner tonight with a green salad and a side of rice. I really hope you get to try them. If you like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up. Also, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're gonna try these. Also, of course, if you have any questions, let me know that too. I personally do read all of the comments and all the emails. It's just me reading and responding to them. So I would really love to hear from you. It means so much and often just makes my day to hear someone made it and they love them. So keep me posted. For the recipe, head over to my website, mariesaba.com. There you can print out this recipe and all my recipes, and if you like, put them in a notebook and make your very own Marie's Kitchen cookbook for free. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do that and hit the bell notification. I've been posting tons of videos lately at all different times during the week, so keep that notification on and you'll know right when they come up. My goal is to give you some really easy recipes that turn out great every time so you can build some confidence in the kitchen and feel really inspired to share good food with people that you love. From my kitchen to yours, thank you. Now I get to try one, yum. Maybe not one that's not so hot. Get some sauce on that. Oh my God. Delicious. Wow. So good. You've got to try these. See you next time.